Good morning. This is going to be a reasonably serious blog. It's kind of about the whole situation where I used to volunteer. Let me just state first of all, I still have the utmost respect for the majority of the aims of where I used to volunteer and many of the people there. That is a given. I also think the whole safeguarding training and its introduction was a good idea. But you cannot, I know it's human, when things flip, they tend to flip in extremis. It's either one thing or the other. I know this to be true. I expected better there. I had very high hopes of that place. In 6 months, they taught me an awful lot. I made good friends. I think I made a few enemies as well, but that links into what I was going to say next, so I'll get that out of the way first. Sorry, a pointy finger. Bad. And that is, the problem is certain individuals who, for whatever personal reasons, either dislike or can't handle me, and that's fair else. I don't expect everybody else to be able to take me as I am. Certain individuals with either a grudge or envy or fear, I don't know what. I don't know the motivations. I can speculate, but speculation gets us nowhere. Will use the safeguarding as an excuse to backstab and generally make life uncomfortable for people they dislike for whatever reason. This will happen unless something is done and the approach becomes more sensible. It won't affect me in any way, shape or form. I'm done. I've burnt my bridges. With the organisation, not some of the wonderful people I've met there, hopefully. I had a phone call from Olga, who's a lovely lady who makes jewellery, yesterday, and she was most distressed that basically I've left. Bless her. She's lovely. She's very high functioning autistic, ADHD, and probably a few other things. But no, so I know that certain people have reached out once they've heard and been, oh no, well, it's real and that genuinely made me smile and feel valued. Yes, I put across quite a menacing visage. I've learned to deflect this with humour, and I think some people don't have a sense of humour. Therefore, my way of deflecting the image I project with humour doesn't work with them. That really isn't my problem. Not my problem. I feel in a way this is more about, I basically jeopardised, would be the right word, a very delicate situation involving, and not in the way some people might think, a situation involving under 18s, basically. But here's how I judge a certain pair of under 18 young ladies who seem to have been the boss's pet proteges. They are very overprivileged and rich. Probably one of them at least has a pony, you can bet. And they have always looked at me like I'm some kind of, I don't know, street tramp. They've always kind of, one at least has always looked down her nose at me. Which didn't make me want to particularly engage with her in any way. I stayed mostly as far away. And the other one, when I did engage with her, normally I would make sure the boss was there at the time to cover my own arse. Because I could feel that at some point accusations, due to the fact I'm intimidating, would come. I knew it. Which is why I burned my bridges immediately at the very first raising of a safeguarding issue. I could see the pattern that would develop. In hindsight, it's been a good decision. It's upset me. It's upset a few people who are regulars there. But that's not my problem. There are plenty of other places looking for willing volunteers. I have spoken to Emmaus, where I get on really well with at least two of the managers, which is a good thing. I get on really well with at least one of the managers in the old place, but, well, he has to protect the reputation and the establishment. That is your job as a high-ranking member of an organisation, and I completely understand that. Don't get scared of the Spitfire, anyone. Don't raise it as a safeguarding issue on YouTube, please. Sorry, that was sarcastic. But honestly, sarcasm and humour is better than anger. Because I do feel like I've been misunderstood, mistreated, in much the same way as I have been all my life, and gently manipulated. Someone there was trying to change my behaviour. In his eyes, I think for the good, so I fitted in better, but I do not take kindly to that. Possibly because in previous employment or situations like that, the way in which my behaviour has been tried to be changed has been abusive, bullying, and very coercive. So I have a real problem with anyone trying to alter what to me is normal behaviour. I have a Nerf gun in my backpack that's painted up to look like a sci-fi gun, showing it, sticking it on a table, or I don't think I waved it about in any kind of manner. I don't think I even fired it, but that's all subjective, and unfortunately there is no CCTV in that particular building to prove otherwise, so it'll be my word against the precious little pet's word. So I'm not going to win there, am I? It's frustrating. And sometimes I forget who's in the room and I tell stories that are risque, but my swearing rate had come down massively, which is amazing. My partner used to tell me off for the amount of times I swore. now I have a tendency to use flipping and shenanigans, and that is a good and positive thing. So I have taken away some positive things from volunteering at what I still view as an amazingly good place. Which I can no longer be a part of because of certain individuals who will use what I view as a good thing to their advantage because they can't get their way any other way. Certain people there, I think, are very two-faced, and I cannot stand two-facedness. I believe it is dishonesty of the highest order. It makes me think they're very untrustworthy. And a lot of people cannot say what they actually mean. I mean, this is a trait that is common to a certain person's culture. That's fine, I understand. But when you're dealing with someone who gets frustrated with anything but absolute honesty, it's going to have the opposite effect of what you intend. About this issue, I no longer have feelings that can be hurt. Bridges have been burned, doesn't affect me anymore. But a little bit of honesty would be nice. Yes, I'm coming across as angry. Damn right I am. More than a little, heartbroken. I loved my time there. I loved helping paint the new studio. I loved the times I spent with two particular individuals who I became, I hope, friends with. 3, in fact. Hopefully you'll know who you are. You're all men. Is that a politically correct word? I don't know. Political correctness. I have trouble with it. But yet, elsewhere where they do practice a certain amount of PC, the balance thus far, because it's been in place longer, admittedly. This is a new thing for where I volunteered, so there are going to be teething troubles. There's going to be some eggs broken. I think I may have been the first one. I'm a good egg. I mean, I am happily going to pay for a DBS check to do with the cosplay, because I think the council have asked, has everybody got a DBS? And that is, I mean, if anybody would like to help, because my finances are very limited, then I would be very grateful. Because the major cosplay event in a month's time, there will be children. And I understand the reason for everybody to have a DBS check. Mine's going to be clear. I've got no issue with it whatsoever. I've got nothing to hide. I do hope the safeguarding issue that was raised doesn't go to the police at my old volunteer work, because that might be a red flag. And that could ruin something I really want to do. And then I will not be happy. That is a message, by the way. Please, I hope the right person takes that on board. Because I've burned my bridges, I've gone, so why should there be any need to continue with the issue? This is why I left. Hell, I have friends and allies among the local police force. They know me. They know I'm not a risk. to anyone but myself anyway, or anybody that, well, I don't know, when I'm drunk looks at me in the wrong way, which is why I never went to my volunteer work after I'd been drinking. Well, a pint, maybe, and then maybe some sage to freshen my breath or something so I could get away with it. I was allowed, especially pre-safeguarding, I was allowed to bend the rules a little bit, and I do appreciate that. But never, I don't think I ever took a mile, you know, the old saying, give them an inch, take a mile. Unlike some people who were given an inch, took 100 miles and got themselves banned from the premises. Yet somehow, before the whole safeguarding issue came up, we're still allowed to wander in. Is he or isn't he? You know, which is why the whole, you know, I was one of the ones who was highlighting this as an issue. Yeah. I should stop thinking about it, I know. But when I get a bee in my bonnet, yet another familiar UK saying, I have trouble letting it go. Don't start singing that song, anyone. I won't be having with that on my channel. Oh, aggressive pointy finger. Sorry. I apologise. Please don't report me. Yeah. Yet again, sarcasm. Because how the hell else can you approach this ridiculous situation? Like I said, I understand the need for what's been put in place. I mean, I even asked whether this safeguarding course has a certificate that's not in-house, so I could perhaps have something for my CV. The answer as I got was so vague as to I thought, well, I'll give up then. I mean, you know, over the 6 months, I've got some good books and some good things, either very cheaply or free from there, all above board, as far as I know, unless someone's going to throw accusations at me about some other stuff. That would not surprise me. Right now, nothing would surprise me, to be quite honest. All I know is it won't take much more of this bullshit, there I said it, for me to just give up on trying to volunteer. And that's a very sad thing, because I view that I have a lot of energy and ideas worth giving, and practical skills. But, you know, I've got Odin's Raven Guard. Fingers crossed I've got Synergy Cosplay. Fingers crossed I might have MAS. Or maybe Suffolk Cancer Research, I think, is the charity. They aren't accepting volunteers at the moment, but it's a cause close to my heart, because my father had prostate cancer and his older brother died from it. And I have to have regular checks these days because I'm over 50. So yeah, that yet again would be a cause that is, you know, very close to my heart. And of course, my best friend and mentor, Rurik Gunnar Magnusson, passed away from it in January. Yeah, the manager was most impressed with me. Because I explained exactly what I am. You know, I'm ADHD, autistic, going through the process of diagnosis. Wow, I got that one out quite well, didn't I? I have the games night every fortnight or so when I can go. Thank you, Naomi. So yeah, 20 minutes. I am going to stop here. I like to keep these to a reasonable length. Innuendo. And on that cheerful, slightly dodgy note, we will end this here. Thank you very much for listening, peeps. Peace.